Welcome back, everybody, to the Old Monologue Podcast. Yo, with your host, me, Omar, aka Young Burnout, aka Young Astronaut. That is very cheesy because I directly ripped that off from the Deezus vs. Mero Deezus and Mero podcast called Bodega Boys. Shout out to them. Yeah, there you go. The first of the podcast. What's up, guys? It's been a long time coming. It's 2017. Last time I updated this fucking thing was like late 2016. The reason why I stopped was SoundCloud was telling me to pay like $7 a month to have space, and I'm like, yo, why am I gonna give $7 a month to have my first video removed so I could upload more? Not first video, first podcast. And then, just keep on continuously with the cycle where I'm uploading more and more shit, and the older episodes go away. Fuck that. So I'm probably gonna stick with YouTube or something like that because it's much easier. I try to look for other places where I could host podcasts, and they all require some payment plan, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. Well, yeah, starting off really strong because, so I've tried to recreate like this first episode like 3 times. The first time wasn't that great because it was out of the blue, or it was the moment where I said, fuck it, I'm going to bring this podcast back up again. And I didn't, it was really out of order and messy. And then the second time I recorded last week, it did actually sound like a decent episode, but I got lazy and I didn't end up editing it the right way. So when it came time to edit and post, it didn't work out because I got too lazy. Also, last week, I wanted to, right before I even start with that, I sort of wanted to like record Tuesdays, upload Thursday, hopefully keep it consistent. Soon enough, I want to add visuals to this shit. Probably, add a green screen behind. I don't know. I just want to have some fun with it. This is not going to be the only venture I'm going for, rather. But with that said, last week, although, I didn't upload it, I had said that I was going to a film festival for a video that I had posted earlier this year. And let me recap that real quick. So it was alright. It was really cheesy and like kind of bad, but it was cool for my first film festival. I just wasn't there for the ending to see where the winners were. I mean, I've been researching right now my topics for today. I could have either gone on Facebook and see if the message that I sent the guy hosting the film festival answered, because I had asked, when will the awards come out? Or when will the winners be announced? And although they were announced the last day of that film festival, I wasn't there. Let me explain a little bit. So earlier this year, I had recorded and edited and posted earlier this year I technically just posted a video for a music video for a band that I really fuck with. The intro to this song was made by the same band, while the intro of this podcast was made by the same band that I made the video for. They're called Wilkes Oswald. I know all of them personally. Shout out to them. They're all dope as fuck. They're really cool supporters. I support them too. Check them out on Bandcamp or whatever, all that noise. Yeah, so I then submitted that video to a film fest in April, and then it wasn't until 2 weeks ago I was notified that I was accepted as a finalist. And then this weekend was the actual film fest. And let me tell you, if you're gonna have a film festival or if you're gonna have any event, please have proper directions. Please at least give out a fucking, if you arrive to this location, be aware that, it's not in the exact area where it says. You'd have to walk around, go to the back, search for a glass door, open it. Welcome to a whole other room that is completely hidden from the outside of this fucking place as advertised. I'm just being a baby and complaining, but it just took me a while to find the place where they were hosting it, that's all. And then to find out I was the only director there. Out of like the 67 films they said they were showing, only one director was there at the time. At the end of the day, at the end of that night, there was only 2 directors. And it was me and some other dude who said he was from LA. I don't know why he would come from LA to come over here. Maybe because he's like, oh, my first film fest. Should have networked, but I made the dumb decision of sneaking in a water bottle full of rum. And let me tell you guys, don't do that. Especially since your event starts at 2 p.m. and it doesn't end until 9. And you're there with a friend who only stayed for like first 3 hours, I think. Which was, hey, I'm not complaining. But I was here triggered like shit. If I'm going to be here alone after she leaves, extremely drunk, let me at least level it out with being kind of high so I could, feel the fucking vibes and not feel like I'm having blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, guys, I just woke up maybe like an hour ago. I already ate, but I'm still kind of groggy. So, yeah, I was extremely drunk and extremely crossfaded throughout the whole time. By the end of the night, like there was one video movie, whatever left, and it was like 30 minutes. I knocked out so hard, and like I felt so embarrassed. When I woke up, the guy who was hosting it said, we're gonna have the awards tomorrow. Here's the thing that fucking confuses me. He says it's not judged by judges, but yet there are judges there. He says the way that it's judged is by the audience sending messages to either the Facebook or their email account saying, I want this guy to win, I want that guy to win. But how is that possible if in the first day, when I was there, literally, I think they had a group of like 5 or 6 judges. 2 of them were only there from the very start, and I was there very early from the start, so 2 of them were there. I being in the audience, and maybe like 1 or 2 more people in the audience as regular viewers. But that's it. My video was shown during the first 3 hours, and there were barely any people there. At that time, I think maybe 1 more judge came by and then saw the video. Because at that time, my friend popped up, because she wasn't there in the beginning. She popped up like soon enough. We hung out. We saw the video that I made, she co-directed and produced. Shout out to you, Maria, if you listen to this. If you're not, whatever, I don't care. And yeah, so she was there. We hung out. Whatever. My bad. I got really drunk. They had free food at some point. I cashed in my free drink ticket, and they were like, what do you want? Coke, Sprite, or fucking Merlot? And I was like, what? What options are these? Let me get the Merlot. And she's like, ice or no ice? And I made that whole sly look, and I was like, no ice. Trying to get crunk, but then that was the worst decision I could have made, because at the end of the night, when the guy was shouting out the directors and I stood up and the guy from LA stood up, we were saying, yo, what's up? We took pictures, like it was a huge group picture for some reason. I don't know any of those people. Except for one judge. Her name was Maddie. Yo, she was fun. Anyway, yeah, at the end of the night, like the event was over and everybody stayed there and networked and just talked. I left the building. Well, I left the room and I wanted to go get some water because I really needed some fucking liquid that wasn't alcohol in my system. And I ended up talking to some dude. I think his name was Eric, and his friend. I don't know if it was his friend or his girlfriend. That came up later. Yeah, so she was kind of cute. But they were telling me, what movie did I make? Unfortunately, nobody was there to see it. I even talked to the guy. My bad for breaking the story, apart. But I even talked to the guy that hosted this thing, and I was like, "Yo, listen, man. Nobody saw my video, so is it cool that you can put it again when there's more people here?" He's like, "Oh, I'm kind of tied up, but tomorrow I have more time." Bro, how are you going to put it on tomorrow if you're saying the film festival that I'm participating in is only Saturday, and there's, I think it was like 2 or 3 other more on Sunday that were completely different. One of this is like the Spanish part of the film fest, widescreen fest, and I don't know the other one. It could probably just been those 2, but I don't understand. I don't know. Whatever, man. Yeah, so I was talking to these 2 people, and they were telling me how they're the dude was telling me that he was an actor, and he invited me to go, both of them invited me to go to this thing on Wednesday for either a viewing of a movie that he's in, or he and a couple of other people, like his friends, I'm assuming, are gonna direct the video. I'm not that sure, but he invited me to go to some shit, and I'm gonna tell him that I can't go, fortunately, because I have to go to work from 11 to 7, and he wants me to go from like 9. No, was it 9? I think it was like from 12 to 5. So I have to let him know. But hey, it's cool that I networked a bit. I wish I wasn't that fucked up, but you know, now that I see it's sort of easy to network when I do shit, then you know I should really get on it. Yeah, but whatever. I'm doing good. How are you guys? I'm doing fine. I got a lot of shit up my sleeve that I need to work on, but I have to keep myself organized. And yeah, doing a couple of life decisions. Not that bad, but shit that I've been waiting on for a bit. I'm being very ambiguous and, you know, not really specific, because shit like that. You know what? Ballin' like an athlete, but got no jumper. Let's keep it moving. Alright, so I got my list of topics right here. The first one is, unfortunately, doesn't make a little bit of sense because I had already seen the first episode. We're going to be talking about a little bit of Game of Thrones, but not a lot, because although Game of Thrones is my fucking favorite show in the whole world right now, not a lot of people like to watch it, and not a lot of people like to listen to spoilers. I don't particularly like to display spoilers. I like to talk shit about what happens, especially when it's something funny. But just to give the people that don't watch Game of Thrones an understanding, I saw this cool map that I found on Twitter. And I had talked to a friend a while back when the show was about to start, who was saying I don't really get the hype of it, and you know he hasn't really watched it. So I was telling him, like, listen, man, I know you might not want to actually watch it because it will, you know, take a bunch of time away from your own life, because there's what, 5 or 6 seasons, I think. If not, I'm fucking up. 5 or 6 seasons. 10 episodes each, an hour each. Like, to get through one season, you might have to considerably, you know, let it take up maybe 2 to 3 days of your whole like week. And oh well, sorry for that creak. I rhymed. But you know, you're not gonna want to do that, since unless you're really, you know, you really want to and you're really passionate about the movie, but the show. But whatever. A lot of people are turned off by it. But what I'm saying is, when I was talking to a friend, I was telling him, I'm going to put this map up. Think of North America, where there's US and then there's Canada. Canada is this very icy place where no one really knows what's beyond just a lot of snow and a lot of ice and a lot of trees. Then there's the United States, where, you know, there's countries, well, there's states, but in this theory, we're gonna say that there's a bunch of countries and little cities that are headed around. In the border of the U.S. and Canadian border, imagine there is an 80-story high wall, and I don't know, as wide as the border from the United States to Canada. Let's just say, and beyond that wall, where Canada is, there's a bunch of white ice zombies called White Walkers, who are ready to fuck shit up and destroy everything that we know and love. Whereas, and in the middle of that wall, there are people conspiring and, you know, telling each other that we should band together so we could try to rid of these ice demons or whatever, they're White Walkers. So part of the north of North America are all worrying about the White Walkers, and winter is coming, and you know, the day that the cold meets the ground. I don't know, I'm just making shit up. But yeah, once they say the night comes, meaning, you know, the White Walker is going to be coming into the land called Westeros and destroy everything. But on the south side of the map, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, that side of the map, I'm assuming, there's another war going on, or about to happen, where one person is jealous of another person's reign, or vice versa. I mean, although I'm being very ambiguous. they end up, wanting to fight each other, or one wants to fight the other, and then the other needs to help the people from the north to defeat these demons, but also needs to worry about the other place where there's a queen who wants to kill everybody. I mean, I'm being a horrible person to explain this, but after 6 seasons, an hour each, 10 episodes, come on, man, my brain is fried trying to explain that show. But it's dope, man. Yeah, dude, there's just all around the war going on and chaos, and this season is going so fast. They're already showing a battle. What I wanted to talk about, really, was this guy called Euron Greyjoy. First of all, look at him in the first episode. Fucking reminds me of, like, a 9 Inch Nails groupie. He just came back from the May Day parade. He had lunch with Billy Joe Armstrong, with the guy from Green Day, and decided to go shopping with, I don't know. I mean, I was going to say Marilyn Manson, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty cool to shop with Marilyn Manson. To do anything with Marilyn Manson would be pretty cool. But you know what I'm saying? Just look at his fucking attire. Like, he literally embodies 2007 MySpace right there. But then, I mean, I trashed him for a good fucking 15 minutes, but for a long time in the past episode, but in the past podcast episode that I didn't record, that I didn't upload. But fucking look at him now. Yo, that face... that face was so funny when I first saw it, but then throughout the whole episode, I'm like, fuck, this guy is insane. Just envision a boat battle, I say, where, a fleet of boats are just going towards a location, like from point A to point B, not knowing that there's going to be ambushed in the middle of the waters. They're just there hanging around, going slow. People are having sex. Well, they almost showed it, but I wouldn't doubt it. People drinking, whatever. Out of nowhere, you fucking hear your boat just boosh, and everything breaks, everything crashes. You fucking go to a halt. You're like, whoa, what the fuck? You end up going out of your fucking bunk bed, and then you see you're being capsized by a whole other army with bigger ships and a bigger sails, and you see that it's the guy, his Greyjoy's family, and then you see his face, and you see his whole army kill everybody. And then hopefully I can find good photos, because like photos don't really do justice, because the actual battle was fucking insane, where Euron just kills everybody. There's blood all over his face when he battles the last person he fights. I mean, at that point, it's a spoiler, so I'm not gonna get into it. Game of Thrones is cool as shit. Y'all should watch it. It just sucks if you have to catch up. Moving on from everything, I want to make it a thing in this podcast where I like to review movies that I've watched. Now, it's not like I'm going to review every single movie that I've ever watched in my life, or I'm going to make a specific podcast just to review movies. I'm just going to give it a segment where I watch the movies that recently come out and just give a word on them, because I, myself, an aspiring filmmaker and an aspiring cinematographer, I like to have my views and opinions spoken and viewed. So I watched, what's it called? I watched Dunkirk from Christopher Nolan. Dunkirk is a really fucking cool movie. It was made by Christopher Nolan. It has to do with like a low-key battle in World War II where a lot of people didn't think they were gonna survive. I think it was like the British and the French against the Germans, and then I don't know where. I think they were at Germany. They were at a dock, at a pier, and then enemy planes would pass by, drop a whole bunch of bombs on people. So I mean, it was a very a cinematic battle, because it's not even a battle. It was basically the Navy trying to send one battleship per trip to pick up all of these stranded soldiers from Germany. Or whatever. I'm gonna say Germany because I did a bit of research. All right, sorry that I don't fucking know where they were at. It was a good movie. Anyway, well yeah, if you don't know Christopher Nolan, then damn, I'm sorry you don't know. He made the Dark Knight trilogy, the best ones. Inception, Interstellar. I mean, I haven't seen most of his movies. I've seen Inception. I've seen the Dark Knight trilogy. I haven't seen Interstellar, which is a big thing because I just want to get lost in space. But, alright, so what I read from this movie was, before watching it, they were saying how the story was dull only because it's a past historical event. All you gotta do is match it historically. And, you know, if you fuck anything up, you know, you'll be criticized and say you're making things up. So I'm assuming everything Christopher Nolan made was in the timeline of what actually happened. Yo, it sounds like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh man, I'm so tired. God damn it. Cinematography in that movie was, oh, that cinematography, boy. Whoo! It was like, first of all, they made it, I think, in either 65 or 70 millimeter. And then I watched it in 70 millimeter, almost front row. So you can already envision me sitting right in the middle of the theater, and I'm looking left from right, center left, center right, center left, throughout the entire movie, because it was gorgeous. Now it's a little bit confusing since it has to do with like a timeline. It had 3 separate events during 3 separate times, but they all interacted with each other, but they only explained it once the end of one timeline happens. They would link it. But anyway, timelines interact. It was really dope. Cinematography was great. I don't want to say Christopher Nolan wasn't an artist until now. He's always been an artist in my eyes, because once you fucking add, you know, when I saw Inception, I was like, oh my god, like cinematography. Besides that, the whole point of the movie was just a mind fuck, and I'm a huge fan of thriller movies. So when I saw Inception, I had already known that Christopher Nolan was very talented and was a great artist in his medium and line of work. So when I see Dunkirk, I had huge expectations, and you know what? They were met. So thank you, Christopher Nolan. You are climbing up there to be one of my favorite directors, not gonna lie, just because of the dark tones in your movies. So yeah, go watch Dunkirk. I highly recommend it, especially in 70 millimeter. I will probably watch a movie called Valerian or some bullshit like that soon. Probably either today or Thursday. And then another movie comes out called Atomic Blonde. I don't know what's that about. Some shit about being the female 007. But hey, if it's an original movie, I'll totally watch it. What was it? Oh, I also saw in Fandango this Friday. They were gonna release like a triple feature. Maniac, then The Last House on the Left, and then Cannibal Holocaust. Just, you know, cult classic gory ass movies that I'm down to watch on a Friday night with a triple feature. But nope, no Florida dates, like, at all. Nothing in Florida. And I mean, I'm not gonna rag on them, because in that same website, you know, I saw some foreign titles from like India and like some Chinese titles. So I'm assuming Fandango just does an all out movies in general coming out type of category. I don't know. Anyway, let's move it on. So if you're a fan of sad stuff, if you're not a fan of sad, oh my god, if you're not a fan of sad stuff, you can just skip through this, because I'm going to be talking about 2 deaths that just occurred. One of them, you know, being a kind of a hard-hitting one. His name was Chester Bennington. He is one of the frontmans for Linkin Park. Here's the thing about Linkin Park. Back in middle school, they were one of the bands that I would always listen to. I would never, you know, not go out and go to school without listening to Crawling in My Skin, These Wounds They Will Not Heal. Then there's bing 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 oh bang. I don't know how that goes, but oh shit, I was about to go look up Linkin Park songs in my iTunes, and I guess I don't have any. Damn, what a bad one. But nah, Linkin Park was great, dude. I used to own Hybrid Theory. I forgot what I did with it, but whatever. And then I loved Meteora with fucking Numb and Hybrid Theory with In the End. But once they went on to make Minutes to Midnight in like 2007, 2008, I was just turned off by it. They started to get really soft. I was still getting into the whole hard aspect of rock and metal and shit. So all of the songs where Chester Bennington would scream, I would scream with him. Fucking Crawling Into My Skin. What? Fucking In the End. Then there's In the end, it doesn't even matter. Whoa. One thing, I don't know why. Better not hard to try. Yo, Linkin Park was they were just great. But then to hear that the vocalist died because of an apparent hanging, and he had, he was depressed. He had depression for years. And it's people love to, just cast aside the word depression just because they think, oh, depression is easily fixed. It's just a feeling. You can just take pills for that if you want, if you're that desperate. First of all, pills aren't gonna work. They might give you some self-stimulation and make you feel numb towards crap. But that's exactly it. You're gonna start feeling numb. I'm not saying you're gonna start taking Xanax, but all these prescription antidepressant pills, it's to me sad, because I'm not gonna go ahead and take some pills just because of the way that I feel. For that, I can just easily take like fucking, I don't know, fucking ecstasy or fucking Molly. Stay away from Xanax, kids. Personally know somebody that died off of it. Personally seen it happen in front of me. One funny story of some dude under Xanax was he was fucking popped up, left his keys inside of his garage. We were trying to get into the garage. He had, he locked it. I had to fucking go to his house, get a butter knife, open up his door lock somehow. I don't even know how I did it, but we opened it. And then right out there, he was like, good shit, man. Yeah, if you want, you can go ahead and like grab a handful of pills if you want. I could have easily have done it, but hey, I didn't. Here's a tweet that I found the other day at Diogo M.L. Bernardo. I don't know. He says, depression is, it's a quote. Depression is hard to understand, but if it can kill Robin Williams, Chris Cornell, and Chester Bennington, I'd say it's pretty damn real. That's a pretty fucking heavy tweet right there. Because holy shit, yes, Chris Cornell and Robin Williams did die of depression. One of them died because of the industry. The other one died, I think, is because he had no way out. Robin Williams was fantastic. He was Hook. He was Genie. He was Mrs. Doubtfire. He was the guy from Dead Poet Society. Like, I can't really name a lot of actors and movies like right off the bat like I did with Robin Williams, but Robin Williams was amazing. And when he died, like, I was sad. And there's moments in time where I can relate to his story because I like to make people laugh and I like to laugh myself, but I do have these dark moments where if you have seen the video with Chester Bennington, I might put it up because I'm not sure if I can. I could, but whatever. He starts saying, that if he's in his mind for too long, he gets lost and gets stuck and he doesn't want to be in there because it's a bad place for him. And that's true. Once you start thinking about shit too much, you start to overthink and you start to visualize what you're overthinking about. Let's say somebody broke up with me. I'm going to be overthinking about it just because, what did I do wrong? But if I'm going to visualize exactly what I did wrong, I'm going to be like, oh, I did this, I did that. There was no way that I could change this outcome or that outcome. I'm going to completely blame myself for that action. And there's no way that you can validate yourself as saying that it's not your fault. Although people are saying that it's not your fault, you're still pinning that cause onto your, like, you're still blaming yourself for anything that happens, and and it becomes a fucking habit. That's what depression is, guys, and it sucks because it happens to me too. And I'm not gonna, at the moment, I'm not gonna, say that I have or haven't tried to commit suicide, but hey, I'm here. Although I don't really talk to a lot of people, I still, I got a little bit too passionate about it, but rest in peace, Chester Bennington. This article says new details have emerged about the day that he died. Audio file was posted by TMZ, which alleges that Los Angeles police had released a tape in the wake of his suicide. In the call, a driver tells the dispatcher that he arrived at the pickup location. By who? Only to find Bennington's housekeeper crying hysterically near the door. She then told him that Bennington had hanged himself. I saw another article where it was actually talking about the Linkin Park band itself, and he does talk about Chester. He says Chester still brought his basic instincts, his basic talents into the room every time. He had no sense of self-importance, the whole I'm a rock star type thing. He still had his belief of purpose. He had never let go of that. It was a pleasure working with the band. They knew how to give back to family and causes. Chester was the guy in front. He was the one that had exposed what their convictions were, what their purpose was as a band. That's what lead singers were supposed to do. That's what lead singers were supposed to do, and he did that. Chester Bennington. And you know what? Like I at the moment, I just don't like the way my hair is growing, and the way that it's stylized, and I don't like the way my hair is. And I see I see Chester Bennington, and I'm like, you know what, man? I'm gonna cut my hair like yours, cause whatever. And unfortunately, we'll continue on with another sad news. American-Canadian film director George A. Romero died earlier this month. If you don't know who he is, he made movies such as Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Silence of the Lambs. If you've seen it, I'm pretty sure most of the people have seen it. Day of the Dead. It's mostly zombie shit, whatever. People like zombie movies. I fuck with zombie movies. If you like the gory, the thriller, the mystery behind horror movies, you should consider to go out and watch any of George Romero's films. I think late last week over at the Wynwood Theater, sort of close to my neighborhood, not that close to my neighborhood, but whatever. They were showing, I think, Night of the Living Dead as a tribute to the passing of George Romero. I don't know this girl, but I follow somebody on Twitter who's obsessed with these old movies that are like Suspiria, Lost Boys, George Romero movies. So I found out from her tweet saying, rest in peace, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. If this one girl who's this big fan of his, imagine the whole community the community as a whole, knowing that this guy died. And I think I saw an article. I wish I can link it to it. If I find it, I'll link it or put it up. That had pictures of people. I don't know if it was like an open funeral or it was just a tribute in their own cities. People had the books, people had movies, they had brought it to parks, they had brought it to tribute events. So it was a big thing, Once a pop culture personality dies, it reverberates throughout the entire society. Because George Romero was a huge filmmaker and cinematographer. Chester Bennington was a huge musician and worldwide for a fact. So, I think George Romero died just because of old age. I don't know. He does look old, but things happen, bro. Be safe out there, guys. Oh, I don't know what that means. Let's change things up. Let's make everything a little bit better now. I have this other topic. All right. So before recording this video, I saw a couple of videos. Blah 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 blah. Before I recorded this podcast, I was watching a couple of videos to get into my topics list, and I fucking hate people, guys. Oh my god. One of the videos is this. So, the article said couples compete in wife carrying contest. Not apostrophe. Parentheses. Really. Now, when I clicked on the link, there was nothing to describe what this video was on about. So I did some research. Now, this carrying contest was held inside a music festival called Viva Braslav. It is in this country of Belarus, somewhere in Europe. It's like between Russia, Poland, Ukraine, Lithuania. It is this music and sports festival. I don't know. It looks huge. I see a bunch of pictures, and it's one of those festivals where there's a big stage in the middle, and the crowd reaches like way far past where the eye can see, as in the eye. But yeah, look, let's watch this video together, guys, shall we? Yo! Oh! Talking about the water. We trained a lot, especially in choosing the right position. Yo, she can kiss that butt. Yo, I would. Whoa, she's gorgeous. The fuck? And they're all just fucking. Oh my god, they're looking like they're going through like war. What the fuck? Wow. What the fuck, man? What is going on with people? And wait, that's not all. Because when I was finding out how to, where this event was being played, oh my god. It's like I'm drunk, man. When I was looking through research, finding out where this event was being placed at, wow. Just looking at myself in this mirror and telling myself, yo, are you okay? Are you okay? Jesus Christ. I found this video of how to North American wife carrying competition championship. Jesus. Let's take a look.
Every October, Sunday River hosts its annual North American...
White people. All white people.
Feel free to follow along at home. The Over the Threshold. Here comes the bride. The romantic carry is not effective. There are no guarantees of a win or a successful marriage.
Yikes. What did he just say? Oh my god. Yo, you're not gonna win anything with that like that at all, man. You're just gonna drop her dead in the mud, and you're just gonna fall face flat into her stomach, and if she's pregnant, good luck.
The chicken. Let's have a chicken fight.
All right, no, let's skip this. We know that's not gonna work out well.
Water hazard. The piggyback. Do we even need to show this one? Oh.
White people.
The Estonian carry is our most popular carry because role-playing...
Whoa, wait a minute, woo! Hold the phone! What is that? What, yo, if you see anybody wearing that in public, go fucking shoot them, knock them out. Especially if they're white, because they don't mean anything. Yo, if you see any Hispanic, any black guy doing that, they will be crucified and be fucking called the cops on. White people do stupid shit. Just look at this what? Look at that. What is that?
Is good for every relationship.
Oh my god.
The man bends down and places his head between her legs. He
Hey,
stands again, leaving her draped on his back with her legs around his neck, like a cape. a lady cake.
Not gonna lie, it's a little hot. I'd go for it. Huh? Anyway, all right, let's move it along. I'm not gonna keep on talking about white people like that, because we do know that the white man has power to do whatever he wants. Fucking white people. All right, let's keep it moving. I got this one other topic. Kind of suck. It's another sucky topic, but I did just want to talk about it. So, in San Antonio, Texas, where everything's big as fuck, at least 9 people are dead after a phone call from a Walmart employee that led to a discovery of dozens of undocumented immigrants injured in the back of a tractor trailer earlier this week on Sunday. Article says more than 100 undocumented immigrants may have been sandwiched in the back of the 18-wheeler. Does this not remind you of anything? And who's the one that's probably driving this truck? Somebody from America? A white guy? Transporting 100 undocumented immigrants in a tractor trailer? Let's continue. Checking the video from the store, we found that there were a number of vehicles that came in and picked up a lot of the folks that were in that trailer that survived the trip. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus said, "We are looking at a human trafficking crime here." Human trafficking, you say? Vehicles came in and picked up a lot of the folks that were in the trailer that quote unquote survived the trip. What does that remind me of? I don't know. The employee told authorities the trailer was parked at a Walmart lot in San Antonio. A man who was in it asked the employee for water. The employee brought water for the man, then called the police and asked him to conduct a welfare check? I don't know what... Alright, so just found out when you're trying to call somebody and they will never respond, then you're asking, what's wrong with them, there's actually an issue with them, you call to the police and say a welfare check so they can go out and find these people. I thought a fucking welfare check was some fucking shit that you get for being white and not doing anything with your life, and you're just hanging around sucking off your cousin's dick, and you're just out here making meth on the backside while gaining some welfare checks just because you're saying that you're unemployed. Whatever. Fucking people do what they want to do. That's when authorities discovered... Oh, goddamn it. That's when... my fucking finger flew from the mouse. That's when authorities discovered 8 bodies and 31 people suffering from various injuries. We quickly called the, quote, mass casualty incident and had 29 units arrive out there and start transporting people, San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood said. Officials said the air conditioner in the trailer was not working. It wasn't working! And the high temperature in San Antonio on Saturday was 100 degrees. Oh my God. I can't put my mind into what this reminds me of. There has to have been an immigrant that was stronger than the guy that was driving the truck, man. Like, there's 100 of you. I understand that. I understand you have families. You don't want to die. You want to stay alive, and you have to do what you can in order to stay alive. But there has to be at least one guy that revolts and says, "Hey, that's not fucking cool." And you can do it in Spanish, and the driver who doesn't speak Spanish would be like, "Hey man, I only talk in English. I don't know what you're talking about." And the guy could be like, "Oye, señor, te voy a matar solamente porque me está cogiendo esta gente, blah, blah, blah." Just incarcerating them in the fucking trailer with no AC, 100 degrees outside. People coming in, coming out, just buying these people off of these fucking tractors. I'm more than sure some currency was exchanged. Because you can't just go out and say, I need a couple of workers to come fix my yard. Some bullshit Home Depot Mexican stereotype joke insert here. But no, it's not. It's 2017. People move on from that shit. It's not going to be... oh my God. I hate people, guys. People are the worst. People are fucking shitty. Fucking moving on to this last part of the podcast. Yo, I would have a little bit more things to say. It'd be more little. See, right now I'm making no sense. Although I didn't eat enough. I'm starving. It's fucking. It's 9:30. Fuck am I doing up at 9:30? I mean, I was up at 7 trying to get things started, but god damn it, am I tired. Well, I have our last segment. Well, here's the last segment of the day. Segment that I did pick up from our podcast last year. It's my favorite out of all of our segments is the Florida Man segment. Why do I like the Florida Man segment? Well, first of all, I am from Florida, from Miami, Florida. Second of all, I like to do the Florida Man segment strictly because Charlemagne the God says, and I quote, "The craziest people come from the Bronx and all of Florida." And if you've known about Florida Man and read some segments, he's right. It's true. Alright, so one of the first story was something recent. Deputies arrested a man who said they were the drugs. They're great. Deputies arrested a man who they say was high on flocka. Flocka strikes again in Florida. When he tried to break into Indian River County Jail overnight, he tried to break into a jail overnight by driving his car and climbing the fence to get away from authorities. Patrick Rempe, 24, faces several charges, including aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, battery, felony criminal mischief, leaving the scene of a crash with property damage, and driving under the influence. Damn, this guy knew how to live a life. He rammed his 2002 Toyota in front of the doors of the jail. Then drove into the fence of outside of Building E, damaging the fence, and started climbing it before becoming entangled in razor wire. Yo, this guy's a fucking idiot, man. And he sort of looks like a fucking white terrorist, man. Deputy said that he was removed from the fence and then spit on one of the fucking deputies and then taken to a medical center for the crash and the razor wire. Rempe told deputies that he was high on flocka and that he wanted to visit his friends in jail. Remains under supervision in the hospital. Oh my god, flocka. There's been so many causes. Fucking this dude ate some guy's face off. Another guy ate another guy's face. First a case was like in South Beach. Then the other case was like this dude in like, I don't know if it was in Tallahassee, but this guy from Tallahassee ate another dude's face off in South Florida. And then this guy on Flocka's on South Florida crashing into police stations, try to say what's up to his homeboys, be like, "Yo, what up, dog? I'm here for you, man." On Flocka. People are so dumb. How do you even get Flocka, man? What fucking is Flocka anyway? I'm gonna look that shit up because although I might not try it, Flocka looks like, I don't know. It looks sort of like Coke. Like, is it more crystallized than Coke? Oh, you can snort it like Coke, but yeah, no, like under a microscope, Flocka really does look like big grains of salt. That's crazy. You can literally put Flocka inside a salt container, fucking call it sea salt, and then people would put that shit all over their fucking eggs. And knowing white people, that's all seasoning they need. Some salt and pepper. Some Flocka and pepper. You imagine Flocka goes to the Midwest? Like, people make meth over there. Fucking, I wouldn't doubt they make Flocka already, but god damn, if Grand Theft Auto taught me anything, it was that people from the Midwest have this underground basement laboratory where they fucking trying to sell fake meth, fake crack. They add some like fucking flour and Arm and Hammer and powdered toothpaste with not even powdered toothpaste, powdered milk. Add that shit up with water. Add some toothpaste for the minty flavor, and it gives you the whole kick when you snort it. I don't know. I can go on and on about this shit, bro, but Flocka is a hell of a drug, my dudes, and don't do it. Wow, this podcast fucking sucks. Alright, guys. That's it. I'm not gonna keep going with this. That was an okay hour. I'm sorry if you... Wow, I don't know if that's loud. That hour was whatever. If you stuck by through the end, I am so sorry. I clumsily made my way through this. The episode that I didn't upload last week was much better than this week. But with that, you know, things are gonna get better. Like I said, I record on Tuesdays. Try to make it available on Thursday, if not Saturday. Although Saturday is the worst days for any upload. I'm gonna keep on talking about shit that I'm into. This is gonna be about pop culture. I don't know why I'm talking about this right now. It should have been at the very start of this. If anybody wants to sponsor me, that'd be dope as shit. Who do I want to sponsor me? Miami Dolphins, if you want to sponsor me, that'd be great. Alright, guys, so have a good weekend. I would tell you what I'm doing this weekend, but knowing me, I might not do anything, because if I get invited to shit, I don't go to anything, because shout out depression. Alright, guys, have a good one. Peace out.